Hello, it is me, Pearl, of Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot, and we are here to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energy inside of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see that reflected back to us in our external environment, in our interactions with others, and if we want to see change, we have to shift and change the energy within inside of self. And hopefully these readings give you the knowledge, wisdom, information that you need in order to be able to shift and grow. Remember that when I read for the divine masculine side or the divine feminine side, I am reading for you. I do not read for the person who's not standing here in front of me, didn't ask me for it, doesn't know it. I'm not reading for that person because they haven't given me their consent. So I am reading the collective energy that you have. Your person may be in alignment with this collective energy if they are your counterpart, or if there's someone who is strongly reflecting back your own patterns. If I read something and you're like, wow, that's not anything like the person I'm focused on would say, it's likely the person that you're focused on is not your counterpart or is not somebody who is healing and growing and shifting and reflecting back your energy to you. And this is one of a really easy tell, and it allows you to kind of take your focus off of somebody who's not on your level. Maybe that person will get on your level sometime, but they aren't. So really use your discernment when you're listening to this. When readers say take what resonates and not what doesn't, that doesn't mean that you get messages that are uncomfortable and just be like, oh, those aren't my messages. It means that you have to take what resonates with you energetically. And if it doesn't resonate with your person, you can't force it onto your person. I think that's everything. All just to emphasize that you yourself are not a divine feminine or a divine masculine. You are a person with divine nature inside of you, feminine and masculine. So when I refer to the feminine energy, I'm referring to the emotional, creative side of yourself, and your person will have the same thing. When I refer to the masculine energy, I'm referring to the action-oriented, giving, doing part of yourself, intellectual part of yourself, which your person will also have as well. That's how this works. That's the type of reader I am, and I hope you enjoy it. All right, let's get started. So the first thing that I like to do is get us centered. Just take a deep breath. Be here in your body with me for a moment. I'm actually going to drink of coffee before I do this. And I want you to just think about something that would make you feel better right now. So just think for a moment about something that will make you feel better right now. Even if you feel really good, maybe you could feel a little better if just this thing would happen. So just think about what it is. What would make you better? I just keep singing the same fucking thing every day. That's what I keep thinking every day. I went a little deeper there. Okay, let's see if what you think will make you feel better will actually make you feel better. This is what you actually need. It's the moon. Great. So what will actually make you feel better has something to do with your dreams. It's interesting because I had an interesting dream that I'm reflecting upon right now. There are things coming up in your dreams, and these are your sleeping dreams, the ones that you are receiving when you're sleeping, but also the ones that you are having when you're awake, the waking dreams. Dreams and fantasies, things you're imagining. Right now I feel there's probably a lot of people imagining the worst, having fear, having anxiety, because that can be associated with the moon card. And what would make you feel better is if you released those fantasies of things going wrong and focused instead on things going right. And if you have a hard time doing that without thinking of the opposite thing, then maybe if you were dreaming about something entirely different. So a lot of times we're dreaming always about this one certain point of our union, this end point, but not really after that. It's always just like, oh, when this person comes, I'll feel like this or whatever. Why don't you project 5 years into your future? You're already with your person. You already have everything that you have desired for yourself over this last year or two, your old self-concept from this past year is living full force in this 5 years from now. And imagine that instead. And imagine what you would care about, because the things you would care about would be a lot different. So your fantasies need to expand. You need to dream bigger. And you need to dream in a way that is much more about you personally and a lot less about someone else. That's a really important point here in this energy. So I think this is also about the subconscious beliefs, that needing to kind of still dig out subconscious beliefs that tend to cause us to make choices that are really not the best for us, or they're the best at the time, or they were the best for an old self-concept, but they don't really match a new self-concept. So still doing that subconscious reprogramming work, 10:33 on the clock, as well as most likely the telepathic connection with your person. You may need to embrace that you are still meant to be in this 5D energy with them, not quite expressing in the 3D. Great, love that for me. Okay, try not to get annoyed. Let's go on here. Top of the deck, overall headspace. We're starting with feminine energy today because I don't know why she had every single card showing. And masculine did too, but she did it first. So everybody wants to nobody wants to hide anything today, which I respect. And that seems clear by Divine Feminine's overall headspace, which is the Ace of Swords. This is the truth. I like that this Ace of Swords, like the Ace of Swords from the Light Seers Oracle, references the spiraling effect on the headspace here of how thoughts work, right? They can take us down or they can take us up, right? Depends on the direction of our thinking. Clockwise or counterclockwise, how are you thinking? And she holds a key here. It is showing us that Divine Feminine is thinking, because this is her overall headspace, that her thoughts are the key to her success. They're the key to her authentic self. The thoughts that she's thinking. If she's thinking thoughts that were put into her consciousness by an abusive parent figure in her youth, then those thoughts are not authentic to her. I don't know why, but some aspect in my relationship with my mom, her thoughts about me rarely align with what I feel is true about myself. Like there's just definitely these weird gaps in our experience of me, and hers seems profoundly negative at times, and I internalized that a lot growing up. Things like that I was lazy, that I was a snob, that I was a spoiled brat, like things that were, first of all, do you spoil yourself? Spoiled brat seems like a you problem, not a me problem. If you did that to me, that's not my fucking problem. So, but there's a lot of these things that were said that you have to internalize as a child, because that parent is your truth, right? That parent is defining your reality with how they're raising you. They're telling you the things that you can either accept or reject. And as you age into your teen years, you start to reject a lot of what they say. But from 0 to 7, you've internalized it. You have to accept it because that's the person who is, who's helping you survive. Hello, I'm seeing people enter the chat here. Welcome. So the first thing on Divine Feminine's, first we have to look at what's underlying this truth. So what's bothering her? What's the niggling thing in the back of her mind? The 9 of Swords. Right now, Divine Feminine, I'm feeling a lot of issues coming up about her body and how she's perceived by others. Even the thing that I was called to talk about was like my mother's perception of me, right? So worrying or caring a lot about her body, feeling insecure. This is just also doing all of that worrying, thinking about what you don't want type of an energy. and feeling a little bit of torture, like a nightmarish aspect here. It's like a spiral that she gets into. And I really think that she's trying to use the truth to affirm against these negative thoughts or beliefs. So it's like these are the whispers in the back of her mind, and she's trying to do the new whisper technique with more positive affirmations, right? Two can play at that game, you know. Two can whisper here, not just the devil, but also I can whisper my affirmations of truth to myself about who I authentically am. So now we're at the first thing on her mind is the Hermit energy, which is not a surprise. This is something that has been emphasized lately. It's a card that keeps coming up, and I'm just like, cool, could you fuck off though, please? Because I'm sick of the Hermit energy. I'm sick of being alone in my head all the time, and having that constant, you know, worried dialogue going on, or even trying to constantly counter it all the time. And the thing about this card is it shows Hermit energy accurately for what it is. She's up on her tower. Nobody can get to her here. She's pretty safe, except that she's precarious, because if she makes the wrong move, she can fall down into those deep feelings and emotions. So part of being alone, part of being in Hermit energy is resisting emotional availability. And I see people agreeing with me here in this chat. Ugh, me too. But it's an important part of the journey to be able to be on our own and be independent, because it is what has allowed her to think about herself like this now. This is the King of Wands, but it's the female King of Wands. So this is a feeling of like, I could wait on my tower all day for someone to come and take me away. Or I can take action. I can leave myself. I can do a spell. I can change my thinking with affirmations. There's so many things I can do. I really can do so many things. I can do anything I want. I'm pioneering. I'm bringing the Queen of Wands visionary elements into this, my masculine energy. The creativity, I'm doing it. The passions I have, I'm pursuing it. And I did that because I could have sat here alone on my tower for the rest of my life, or I can just get out there and grab life by the balls. And that's sort of where we are in this current moment. Divine Feminine is like, I'm going to be the masculine energy. I'm going to take action. I'm going to communicate. I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to be the one that is able to be bold in this relationship. And you know what? It looks good on you, girl. Look at this. This Princess Leia bitch. Like, then we have what results from this ability to take action for ourselves. The Six of Pentacles. Reciprocation. So, here's the thing that Divine Feminine has been doing lately. She has been learning that when you talk shit, you get shit back. And all this time she saw the Six of Pentacles and she thought, that card is literally about how much I give to my masculine energy and how little he gives back to me in return. Except guess what? You're the masculine energy. So when you were talking shit to your friend about your little tiny masculine here who's on the tip of this teapot, when you were shrinking him down, when you were saying he was a loser, when you were saying that he doesn't do anything, when you were saying he must be an idiot, when you were saying all the things that you legitimately felt in your anger and passion, the universe was giving that right back to you. Which is, guess what? Reciprocation. And you know what? It's fair and it's balanced. Because what you were putting into the cup was apparently some hot tea you did not like drinking afterwards. And she's starting to recognize her role, her actions that result in reciprocation. But the lesson is powerful because the lesson is like, oh, Oh, if I talk about what I don't want, that's what I get. That's reciprocation. If I talk about what I do want, that is what I get. That is reciprocation. So all the time thinking about these things are outside of ourselves. This is the thing that holds us back the most in the collective. If somebody asked me today, what is holding me back? I would say believing that the stuff that you're getting in readings is happening outside of you. That's holding you back. If you understand that this is an internal journey, an internal spiritual process, you will be liberated. The thing about the Hermit energy is that it's resulted in the Nine of Pentacles. I'm seeing people say needed this and been thinking this at confirmation. I'm glad to hear that. We're getting the Nine of Pentacles clarifying the Hermit energy. So the Nine of Pentacles is about being single and fabulous. It's about actually being able to enjoy the fruits of our labor, the rewards that come from working hard, because this is the card that follows the Eight of Pentacles. So this has been difficult. It's been hard work to be on our own, to rise above the sadness or despair, the drowning sensation that you would get when you would let these dark thoughts sort of take over. Instead, you've brought this bright and vibrant, confident energy. You're glowing. You know what you want for yourself. Your authentic self has become more clear to you. You're affirming that you are absolutely able to indulge in the rewards that you have worked so hard for. Just to clarify, there's no personal readings right now. This is a massive collective reading. If you're going to ask a single question about a person, this reading is for you. You likely were drawn here to get the messages you need. If you want a paid reading, that is going to be available afterwards if I have time. And you can also always go to my link in my profile, or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link below, and you can book a private reading there. But this is the only free reading I'm doing today, which is about 2 hours worth. And if you can't see the whole thing, you can always go watch the replay after. But I donate a lot of time each week, and it's to the collective so that I can help more people than just single individual peoples here and there. But everybody gets helped by these readings. So thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoy and get what you need out of this. So this is the emotional, feminine, creative side of self, and that's reflected back to you in your person. You might feel a lot of this resonating with you because you highly resonate in your feminine side of self, but it doesn't mean it's not present in your person. So this is information about both of you that's coming out in these readings today. So welcome, and thank you for joining. So thank you for doing a massive collective reading. You truly appreciate that. I'm glad that you do. And let's continue here. The Divine Feminine's work, her solo work, has been to create somebody who can actually be more self-indulgent. She can enjoy what she's been actually working on. Oh, thank you for the roses. I just saw the roses coming through. In the present moment, with her in this King of Wands action, now this is someone who can take action towards their passions. She's bringing the masculine energy to her creativity, which means all of the manifestations she's trying to make, she is bringing the action-oriented energy that needs to be brought in order to see that fulfillment here. This is that union we're seeing. So when you watch readers and the readers are like, there's union, and you're like, bitch, there's not union. There wasn't union yesterday, and there ain't union today. I would know union. I would be tired and sore after union if union was happening. This is what they're talking about, and it's truthfully not many readers emphasize it. This is union. Union looks like this. Union looks like a feminine energy who knows herself, able to be in her masculine energy in balance, and in a balanced way move towards the thing that she desires. That is union. When you achieve that, and the person that you're focused on achieves that, normally they will take action to come into union with you physically in the 3D. But if only one of you is able to achieve this, then this person will probably not be coming towards you at this time. So don't get it twisted when you get messages about union and you're always focused on, well, my person doesn't come. That's most likely because you still have to change how you're thinking about union inside of self. But clarifying this King of Wands energy, we have an end here, the world, a completion to the Tower. So there's not going to be more opportunities that you're going to have right now to release what doesn't serve you, because you've come to a close on that. You've the towers that you've needed to, that have shown you this discomfort, etc., that time is ending. You basically have achieved what you've needed to achieve. So you don't need to experience any more discomfort in regards to coming into union and self. It's like, nope, you figured it out. You've, over here on the Divine Feminine's headspace, she knows what is the what. And this is a victory. We have below the Six of Cups, we have the Six of Wands. And it's a solo victory. It's just her. She's just here. She's being still with this hummingbird energy, which is a spirit that encourages stillness. And she is experiencing exactly what she's put in. She's getting back. And if you're like, no, I'm not. I've given my person a whole lot and they've given me nothing. And I want to say, okay, well, how have you been talking about your person to people? Have you been saying, I give a whole lot to my person and my person doesn't give me anything? If that's how you've been talking, then you are getting reciprocation. Because the reciprocation is coming from your energy. You may be giving and giving and giving and martyring yourself in this relationship to a person that is incapable of giving it back to you because you can't see them that way. This is very small little masculine energy right here. This big feminine energy here. Very small, diminutive. So you don't see this person as capable. Meaning, well, I can give you a lot of that. It's very easy to give you what you think and believe in. It's very difficult to give you what you haven't changed your mind about. So, Divine Feminine's realizing this in her headspace. Oh, if I talk about my person as not giving me anything, my person isn't giving me anything. But if I talk about my person and I say, you know, my person has not yet called me to communicate with me verbally over the phone, but my person has given me so many moments of validation in the most subtle and clever ways that anyone has ever tried in my life. And I know that if they have gone to those lengths to give me so much with so many boundaries and barriers to actually being able to come forward in the 3D, then when the moment is right, there is no way that this person will not come and say everything to me. Now I'm talking, right? Now I'm talking. I could say, oh, my person's never done anything and they never will. Not capable, a narcissist, whatever. I could say all the things I wanted to say, or that would emphasize where I'm at right now, or I can say what I want to be true. Top of the deck, overall heart space, is the Knight of Swords in reverse, clarifying the Ace of Swords. So here is where Divine Feminine's fears are coming up. This is a fear that the Divine Masculine will not move fast enough, that he is going to withhold the truth and withhold communication. And then we're seeing in the heart space the Two of Cups in reverse. Now this is interesting because in her reading today on TikTok, she was sorry that she had insisted on this physical union, that she had made this physical union somehow an indication of Divine Masculine's love for her, when it's not. The actual being in physical union doesn't indicate anything about love. People all the time will be like, oh, this person doesn't love me. And I'll be like, if only it were that simple. It's not that simple. Because there's many things that you love and wish you could do and want to do, but don't do every day. And that's human. And the reasons you don't do it is because of fear. So I love that Divine Feminine's headspace, she's showing all the cards. She's hiding nothing from herself. She's looking at all of her thoughts. She wants to know what they are. And her headspace today is countering the fears in her heart space, which is interesting because she's embodying this divine masculine energy here. So this divine masculine energy is basically shining a light in the darkness, burning away these fears and anxieties that she's got in her heart space. In her head, she's like, I know who I am. I know my authentic self. I know that I have to change my thinking because my ego is afraid that this masculine won't come in and tell me the truth, won't come and have this physical meeting with me as fast as I would like him to. First thing on her mind was the Hermit energy. And it is clarified by the Eight of Wands, the card of communication and going with the flow. So divine feminine, in this time that you've been alone, you've been waiting to hear this communication from your person and afraid it won't come. And what is this like? This is like a train with two engines pulling in the opposite direction. You're like, I want to hear communication, but I'm afraid I won't. I think I'd really like to communicate with my person, but they never probably will. I definitely want to speak to them, but they're not going to come fast and talk to me. And when you're sitting there in that place where you have these two beliefs pulling on either side, you're not going anywhere. So you're stuck in this hermit energy, thinking one thing or fearing one thing and desiring another. Yes, this is a collective reading. So that is where the divine feminine is, in her hermit energy, imagining communication but fearing it won't come. In the present energy of this King of Wands, divine feminine being her own King of Wands, we're seeing the Knight of Pentacles. So this is a slow-moving energy, but it is very solid and very reliable. And divine feminine is having this vision that this person is solid and reliable, and that they will only come as fast as divine feminine is willing to move in her own life. So if you are moving very, very, very slowly towards your passions, for instance, I want to do music. Cool. How come I haven't sent out a booking email in 2 weeks? I don't know. How come my studio's not set up yet? I don't know. Could I have done it? Yes. Would it have been perfect and comfortable to sit in? Nope. Would I have been able to play my piano? Yes. Would I have been able to hear it through my fancy speakers? No. Could I have heard it through my Bluetooth speaker just fine? Yes. Okay. So what's the holdup? Because why are you willing to move so slowly towards the thing you love most in the world? And what are you focusing on? Well, I can tell you from personal experience that I have been focusing on how slowly my masculine is moving towards me. Cool. How about instead of focusing on that and letting that determine my mood, I focused instead on how slowly I was moving towards the things that I really want to do in this world, and changed my energy and stopped holding back that truth from myself, which is very painful to realize, to be like, yes, I want it, but I don't do it. Yes, I love it, but I don't commit to it. Love to read myself to filth on a Monday morning. So fun for me. But I have taken small steps. I am not with it, and that's why my King of Wands is upright. I have started to talk about my music more. I have started to sing on lives, which, I don't know, I feel stupid doing. Don't know why. Feels stupid to be like in my room being like, while you're watching me. I don't know. It feels so dumb, but I'm doing it anyway. People are like, play us your music. And I'm like, okay. And then I do. And then I sing it. And I'm like, are people enjoying this? Why wouldn't people enjoy hearing me sing? People have told me my whole life that they enjoy hearing me sing. But why do I convince myself that they wouldn't? This is how the divine masculine energy is being experienced through your person, their feminine energy is giving them reasons to be insecure about what they want to create. So all these things I'm saying, like, I feel stupid singing. Why? People want to hear you sing. The divine feminine wants to hear you be like, I love you. So why do you feel stupid telling her that? Because why? Because you're completely vulnerable. Because what if someone doesn't like it? What if they're sitting there thinking like, geez, I wish you would shut her fucking face and just read my goddamn cards for me for free. First of all, rude, imaginary person that wants me to stop singing and just read their cards for free. Why do I care about that person? Because there's 10 people that are sending me likes and gifts and being like, wow, your voice is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to go follow you now. Your music is great. So I don't sing at all because I'm worried about the one person that's an asshole anyway. Instead of all of the people that are like, I want to support you no matter what you do because you teach us that we should do that too and we want to do that with you and let's all do that together. It seems to make so much sense when I talk about it in the context of these readings, but when it's happening, I just feel like this. And I'm not a person who gets nervous singing. If somebody was like, hey, can you come on stage today and perform? I'd be like, totally. And I would get up on a stage and I would perform and I'd be like, hey, thanks for having me. And I would feel like the shit. I would be like, oh, I'm the shit. You know the song that I played for you the other day? I'm the shit. And I would feel like it. But for some reason, when I'm in this context, doing it like this, I feel like an idiot. I feel incredibly vulnerable and uncomfortable. But what has happened in that current energy, right? We saw this discomfort. It's over. It's over because my headspace is like, nah. You're not going to be like, oh, but somebody might not want me to sing. Guess what they can do? Click off your live. Guess what you singing allows people to do? Click on your live and like it and like the music that you want to do as your professional job for a living. It seems so simple when I tell you here. What is clarifying? The Six of Cups. Oh, my brother's alarm's going off. It's our favorite time of day. The Page of Cups in reverse is clarifying the Six of Cups. So the Page of Cups in reverse is no one wants to apologize here. Divine Feminine doesn't want to apologize for the shit she talked because it was justified. Divine Masculine doesn't want to apologize for the shit he did because in his mind it was, it was justified. It's like, I know it doesn't seem fair to you, but it's literally like I did all I could do. Like that was all I could do. Like I can hear my side of self being like, well, you don't have speaker stands. You have a chair that's broken. You're getting the things you need soon. Like, you can just wait till that stuff comes and then set it up when it gets here. Sure, there's other things you could be doing in the meantime, but, you have a reason for not doing it. Like, don't be, like, there's justification going on here. Not wanting to have to apologize. There's also a reluctance to feel goofy and awkward. That's that vulnerability. And it's feeling like the emotional underdevelopment is not something we want. But remember what we said about the Six of Pentacles? What you pour in, you get back, right? So if you're pouring in emotionally underdeveloped behavior, you're getting it back. And I know you don't want to think of yourself as emotionally underdeveloped or emotionally unavailable, but sometimes you have to think about things that hurt so that you can heal them, right? That's what the Three of Swords energy is about. I must feel the pain to heal the pain. We have here the Nine of Pentacles, and it's being clarified by the Six of Wands. And we already saw the Six of Wands, and we already talked about it as a solo victory. So head and heart are in union over this concept of there being success here. And the really cool thing is I see this as a mirror. So for me, if you are able to tune into your independence, to give yourself reward for hard work that you've done, then your person is able to do that too. And so it's not just a solo victory, ends up being a shared one, but it appears as a solo victory. Freedom and autonomy is a hugely important concept. It's very, very, very important. And having freedom and autonomy in relationship is often difficult to implement, but absolutely necessary. So learning how to be free and autonomous in your hermit energy, and learning to give that same autonomy to your person, that is healthy. So you can basically be saying to your person, you can cheat on me, you can do whatever it is you want to do. Like, this is your life, and you have absolute freedom. If that does happen, though, I also have the freedom to choose not to be in a relationship where those boundaries are violated. So you can do what you want to. You're free to do that, and so am I. And that's the beauty of our relationship. And it's not like a threat or a rule. It's not like, if you cheat on me, I'm going to leave you. It's that I have this boundary that when people are in my life, I want to respect them by being honest and truthful, and put it all out there on the table so they know that I'm always telling the truth, basically. And then I really need the people in my life to have that same respect for me. So you are free, and so am I. Free to choose. And it is all about our choices. What is clarifying the world and the Tower? We have the Eight of Swords. So this is basically being in, and this is about, we just talked about boundaries. And so this is about being in a prison of our own mind, because we have our blindfold on. We can't see that we can really just leave this, the way we're thinking, this pattern of our thinking. But it seems like we can't. It seems like we can't trust, and that we have to, kind of isolate ourselves away from everyone and just have these thoughts, which seem like truths, but they really are illusions that are protecting us from experiencing discomfort. And we're seeing the World card coming in here because we're ending this tendency to protect ourselves from change, from growth, from releasing what doesn't serve us. We're not going to be trapped in a prison of our own thinking anymore, unable to make a choice. We're being freed from that behavior or tendency. Clarifying this Six of Wands is the Hierophant. So this is the card of commitment. And Divine Feminine is like, look, it might be slow and steady, but I am absolutely committed to taking action towards my passion, towards what I love in this world. I have learned my spiritual lesson. I know what I want to be in union with in my life. I know what I want to be committed to, who I want to be committed to. And I want to be in that sacred union energy. If something is sacred, it means you don't defile it. If it is sacred, if music is sacred to me, it means that I treat it with as much respect as I do tarot. I show up every day. You see me every day for tarot, right? I'm here for 6 days a week for tarot. I only give myself 1 day off, and that whole day I'm like, I'm bored and wish I was doing tarot. It's sacred to me. Music has to have the same sacredness to me. I have to have the same commitment. And learning this is a victory. Learning that that's all it takes. My sister has congratulated me a few times on my success with tarot. And she has always said after, it just proves that consistency is really what brings success. And sometimes I'll be like, okay, or I could just be good at this. But she's right. It's being consistent. I started on June 9th, I think. May 9th or June 9th. I can't remember. I think it was June of 2020. And I've never stopped. I think the longest I took off was like maybe a week when my grandmother passed in December. And that was, and I truly didn't even take the week off. I didn't read cards for everybody, but I worked on my business, on my computer, on my website. I did all the things I hadn't been doing because I was doing so many readings. Consistency is what allows you to be in a sacred union with the thing that you love. So the feminine has learned this. She knows what she has to do in order to see the fulfillment of her dreams, her passions, her creativity. She's gotten it down. She's doing great. Let's look at the masculine energy. I'm scared. Everything is in reverse. Everything except for the top part of his deck. I was going to be like, is my deck upside down? And then the top card came out upright. And I was like, nope, it's not upside down. So, Divine Masculine, I just read using this deck actually, and this was how he felt about the connection. And it was the Queen of Wands. And so this is overall on his head, in his mind. All he can think about is this confident, attractive, magnetic, powerful, manifesting, creative energy. This divine feminine who is so beautiful and so captivating and so compelling. So this is really thinking a lot about being like this feminine energy. Like when you're pursuing your passion, this is what you're like. And I'm seeing obviously the counterparts in this reading. And it's so interesting because this King of Wands is the feminine. So the masculine seeing this feminine, thinking about this feminine, is also feeling that he is this feminine. This is that union energy being displayed so clearly. He's like, I am her. She is me. I am the creatrix. I am confident. I am attractive. I am visionary. I am strong and powerful and a manifester. And it is seeing her this way that shows me because I am a mirror. So he's conscious of that. And when I see so many reversals, I know that things are about to turn around. So what's about to turn around? In the back of his mind, what is really bothering him right now is the timing. This is the Wheel of Fortune. Feeling like someone else holds his fate in their hands. He hates this feeling. He's like, this isn't fair. I want to be able to change. I want to be able to move with the wheel. I do not want to feel like someone else is holding me back. That is not how I want to feel. Thank you so much. I'm seeing so many likes and roses. I appreciate this so much. Thank you very much. When I'm channeling, sometimes I can't see all the comments, so I do appreciate everybody interacting on the chat and getting into this reading because it's a good one. So I don't like the feeling of someone controlling the timeline. I want to feel control of the timeline. Ironically, I would have control of the timeline if I just made a change. But I kind of want things to work out the way I want them to work out without changing. I like how I am. ... to infinity. All right, first card up. A card I don't mind seeing in reverse. This time of sadness, this depression, this disappointment in the self, that's being put behind us. This is about moving from a place of negativity to a place of positivity, from a place of pessimism to a place of optimism. No longer, he's not even looking at the spilled cups. He can't even bear to see what he's done. He can't even bear it. Instead, we're focused more on those two cups that are here behind us, if we can release this disappointment. So he's really been working on this, working on these feelings of disappointment in himself, because what it has resulted in, being constantly disappointed in himself, has resulted in this feeling of unworthiness. The King of Pentacles being in reverse. Feeling like he cared about what other people thought, that he needed validation from other people because he didn't feel good, because he did things that were so disappointing. He didn't book shows for the fall. He didn't improve his finances. He didn't, this is me, my masculine energy. He didn't set up his music studio. He isn't working every single day on his music. He's not he feels like, well, if I don't do the thing I love, then I must not really want it. I must not really be that person. I must not be this if I don't show up for myself in the physical and do the thing. So this is how I feel now. I feel unworthy of the thing that I desire, of the abundance, the prosperity that's available to me, because I was so disappointed in myself all the time. And I'm not going to do this to myself anymore. The next 2 cards we have in this overthinking, this tried to be 3 cards too, bro. He was trying to put all this. I'm like, no, you can't have that many cards. Stop. So we're settling for any of you that were here last night for the reading, I'm gonna shit a dick. That's insanity. Last night I did this reading and it looked cool. I remember showing the video of the footage to the people who were here, and there was the Ace of Swords came out, and the message was like, we had to be honest with ourselves. It was the Ace of Swords where he's holding it by the blade, or they're holding it by the blade. And the message was, you have to be honest with yourself right now, even if it hurts. And the message that came out were these 2 cards, which I just fucking told you that I took I put the cards all back and then I shuffled again. These 2 cards came out. And the message from these 2 cards is that you have to admit to yourself that you have been overly emotional, not able to handle your emotions, overbearing, over-nurturing, over-giving, and inconsistent. This is an incredible synchronicity. This is why I do this job, so I can freak out with you every day. What the hell? What are the odds? Please, a mathematician. I need to make friends with a mathematician who can, spew the odds to us, and we can all be like, holy shit, even more. Because I know that the odds are, really low that this would happen. Divine Masculine is acutely aware that not showing up for the feminine has caused her a lot of sadness, a lot of emotional turmoil, and it's come from his inconsistency. And it's also caused her to be inconsistent with her giving to him. If you're not showing up every day for your music, how is your music giving back to you? If you can't build a foundation for it, how is it going to be a foundation for which you to build upon? It's not going to. If you don't know that I'm Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, if you don't know that you can go listen to my music, if I don't tell you that every single day, if I don't emphasize consistently that I am a musician of the highest caliber and you need to go listen to it, there's no foundation. The masculine is realizing not showing up, not giving back to a feminine who has been giving back to him so much, and being inconsistent is literally causing her to behave the same way. At first he was like, oh, the reason she's like this is because she's fickle, or I can't trust her because she wants something, she has ulterior motives, or it's not going to pay off in the long run, or it's just about my ego that I want her, or this, that, and the other thing. And he's had to learn, no, the reason my feminine seems inconsistent is because I'm inconsistent. That's it. That's it. If I was consistent, she would be consistent. And it's taken him a long time to realize this, so the thing is, though, because he's realizing this, everything is about to turn around. That's why all the cards are in reverse. Clarifying the 5 of Cups in reverse is the 8 of Swords in reverse, which we just talked about over here on the Divine Feminine side. If you are releasing your disappointment in yourself, then you're releasing the thinking that's keeping you stuck or trapped, that's keeping the love that you feel, that emotion that you feel, in bondage, unable to be expressed. So these 2 things are connected. As I release my disappointment in myself, as I look at the silver lining, or in this case the gold lining, as I pull myself out of the space where I'm thinking that I have to hide away or protect myself from my disappointment, I'm able to step into the light. Now, the good news is that this light isn't just about the feminine anymore. This is too good to be true. There isn't a woman or a feminine identifying human on the earth that can compensate for this. There's no beautiful lady or beautiful person who embodies feminine energy that is going to make me feel better. That's never going to happen. I have to feel better in order to show up. That's it. I can't expect the feminine to do that. That is too good to be true. The masculine is realizing that in my case, I'd have to look at music itself is not going to make me show up. Just being good and talented at music, just being able to do it, just having the desire for it, that is not what causes you to show up every day. What causes you to show up every day is self-worth. Is believing that you are worthy of what you want, worthy of your happiness, and not expecting someone else to fulfill your happiness for you. These cards are beautiful. This is the Ethereal Visions deck. My nails are like chipped now, but they still look good with this deck. Like, I didn't plan for this, but I like every time I do this deck, I'm like, oh, they match. Makes me so happy. Oh my god, I just noticed this last fucking card. Okay. Alright, so the Queen of Cups in reverse and the Knight of Wands in reverse is being clarified by the fucking Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is the last card in Divine Feminine's spread in the same position. Bam. And that's 3 decks that produce the Six of Wands, because this Six of Wands is actually right next to this one in this spread, because the way I have it laid out on my table. The feminine side is right next to the masculine side. So this Six of Wands is literally right next to it. So victory, victory, victory. Why is it in reverse? Well, first of all, we know that things are turning around because Divine Masculine is realizing this shit in his head. And when you realize this stuff, then you're going to be able to change how you're behaving. It's when your head goes, oh, that you start to take action. Your heart the whole time has been like, listen, you are being an idiot. And then your head is like, no, it's not. And then eventually you're like, oh, I'm being an idiot. And your heart is like, yes. So the masculine, his victory right now, it's been not a shared victory. It's been just a solo victory. But he wants to share it. He wants to express it. He knows that being inconsistent with this feminine energy has caused him to delay his success. And it's not a bad thing to realize, because now you know how to speed it up. You know what to do. What do you do? Is there anybody who hasn't just responded with, I need to be consistent? Because if there's anybody here that wasn't like, I need to be consistent, you're going to need to take the class again. But it's okay, because you can see the replay on YouTube. So if you're just coming here and you're like, oh, I didn't see the beginning, that's totally fine. You can see the whole thing on YouTube once it's uploaded. Okay. Continuing on now into the heart space of the Divine Masculine. We are looking at the top of the deck, which is this lovely Two of Swords that will not go the fuck away. It just will not go away. It's clarifying the Queen of Wands here. So for me, this is an energy of, it is the feminine. She's got a blindfold on, and she's got one sword up in the air. The other she's bringing down. It's interesting. These are normally crossed, as in blocked energy, but it looks like she's in the process of either putting up her guard or lowering her guard. This is about a decision. This is about making a choice, not wanting to make a choice, because you don't want, like, 11:22 on the clock. One direction, one path could hurt someone. The other path could hurt someone else. So rather than make the choice, you're just sitting here. You'd rather have peace than bring about conflict. This is a consistent feeling that comes from the masculine energy. So there may be a choice between feminine energy in this person's life. If we're talking about another person, there may be a choice between your passions right now. Somebody just wrote, it's hard staying consistent. And I was going to say to that after I finish this conversation, but now I'm realizing I can relate it to this. For some reason, it's not hard for me to be consistent with tarot. But it is hard for me to be consistent with music. And I wonder why that is. And maybe there is this feeling that the masculine has right now that it isn't hard to be consistent with one creative passion, but it is hard to be consistent with the feminine energy. And I think the answer to why something is hard to be consistent is fear that you will not be successful. So this masculine might be able to show up every day for his creative endeavors. He might be able to, my person is a successful musician. He experiences a lot of success in that field. So he doesn't have a hard time being consistent with his music. He has a hard time showing up for me. Why? Because he's afraid he won't be successful with me. So I can look at that the same way in my life. It's easy for me to do tarot. It's harder for me to do music. Because music, I'm afraid I would fail at. Tarot wasn't the thing I imagined doing since I was a little child. So I didn't have expectations for it. And I suppose if I started to have expectations for it and wasn't living up to my expectations, I would move into this place with it. But that hasn't happened for me yet. I take it very lightly. I'm like, oh, that style of reading didn't do well on TikTok. That's fine. I'll do this one. It's okay. I'm detached. I'm not as attached to outcome with it. Somebody's saying, great point, because you're right. I'm consistent with work, but it's hard being consistent in other areas. Exactly. So whatever is easy for you, feels like it's easy to be successful in, you can show up. It's very, very difficult for me to be consistent with physical activity. I'm constantly challenged in that way. I can be consistent with nourishment. Like I've done 4 Whole30s. I wanted to be a Whole30 coach. Like I can do that nutrition like nobody's business. I can cut out the things that are making me sick very easily. Be like, oh, it doesn't feel good. I want to feel that way. But getting myself to do a physical activity every day, really, really difficult because I fear I won't be consistent with it. It's so stupid. Humans are so stupid. I love you the most, but also you're the worst. It's just, who cares if you're not consistent? Who cares if I did yoga 2 days a week this week, 1 day next week, 6 days the week after that, like didn't even do it at all a week later? Why does that matter? Why does it matter what I've done before and what I do after instead of what's happening right now in the present moment? If I was only concerned with the present moment, this wouldn't be occurring to me. This is in the future position. This is in what your expectation is. If I was in the present moment, I would just be experiencing my passion, but I'm worried about failing. Cool. You know what that does? It keeps you in bed, doing nothing except worrying. Sleepless nights. Okay, so the masculine has got to make a choice. He's got to make a decision. Do I show up for the thing that I love? Or do I just keep choosing the easier thing? Because it's easier. In the heart space, we have a familiar figure. It is the feminine energy, and she's alone in her hermit energy. So even the masculine energy is acutely aware that the feminine energy has been just chilling on her own, just all by herself, while he's out doing all his things. And this is clarified by the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And this is the feeling that the time is out of his hands. Like he's had to leave the feminine alone, and it hasn't been up to him. It's like someone else has held his fate in his hands. This can be another partner. This can be a job or a career or contract that he has. It can be a behavior that he has. But it's felt like it has made it impossible for him to bring this feminine out of her hermitude. For me, in terms of music, this is like, you know, my music is just chilling all alone here. I'm not giving it any attention, really. But it's here. It's there. It's always there. It's just by itself. It's not really getting a whole lot of love from me. I'm kind of showing up for it, like, inconsistently. Like, I know I need to make music. My management company told me they want me to do music too. So I should be making music content. I have the songs. I have video footage. Why am I not doing it? It's so annoying. All right. Oh my Lord. The top of the deck. Overall, or the first thing on his mind, not top of the deck. What am I saying? The first thing on his mind, the Five of Cups in reverse is being clarified by the Five of Cups upright. In this card, we have a masculine who's disappointed in himself. What is the result? A feminine who's disappointed in him. So the masculine is disappointed for feeling like he has disappointed the feminine energy. He has let down the gift of music. I've let down my gift. You know, I've hidden it under a bushel basket, as you're not supposed to do. So I feel sad that I have not honored this feminine part of myself, that I have left her all alone here, wondering why I'm not hanging out with her. She's really great. So this is what he's really releasing, the disappointment in himself for feeling like he is a disappointment to the feminine energy. The King of Pentacles in reverse. I do have, so this account, so somebody just asked, do you have music videos on YouTube or any social networking? You are on my music page right now. Here is something to contemplate. Pearl's Prayers is called Pearl's Prayers because this is my music account. Pearl and the Prayers is my band. Tuned In Tarot is my tarot. That's a completely separate TikTok. It only has like 32 followers. Actually, you should probably follow it in case they ever ban this account or something. I need to get over 1,000 people to follow my Tuned In Tarot account so I can go live because I know people sometimes get banned and stuff like that. So go follow Tuned In Tarot. On my profile, there's 3 videos that are pinned to the top. The one on the far right shows every single one of my actual profiles, so you can't be scammed by somebody. But also, if you just click the link in my profile, that takes you to my website. If you click on Pearl at the top, that's all my music. That's where my videos are. That's where my music YouTube is. That's where I'm on Spotify. I'm on Amazon Music. I'm on Apple Music. I've been a musician for 20 years. So that's what I'm saying. Like, y'all don't even know that because I'm hiding the music behind the tarot, basically. I didn't do that on purpose. It's just that when I started to put tarot readings out, people started to follow me, and I continued to do tarot readings and continued to interact using tarot on my music account. It's like cheating on my music in a weird way. So, yes, I do have social media. I do have videos. I don't have any music videos released. I have just YouTube music with a video there, but it's not like a music video. I have worked on music videos. I haven't finished them or released them. So, great question. Thank you. I'm glad this is resonating so much and that you realize you're doing the same thing because this is the magic. Do you understand? For those of you that are like, why can't I come into union with my person? Why isn't this happening? I don't understand. This is why. This is why. Because you're on a mission. You have a gift. It is a creative gift. It's usually a gift of healing. This is part of my feminine work to be this tarot reader, to be a healer. But I'm a music healer. I'm a sound healer. I literally heal people through the sound of my voice, both when I'm singing and when I'm speaking. So I'm denying a huge part of myself by not putting as much energy into it. So when you finally realize that it's you that hasn't been taking the initiative, being consistent, being committed to your emotional and creative side of self, and you change that, two things happen. The first thing is you start to not give so much of a fuck about the person who's not doing what you want them to do, number one. Number two, that person has the opportunity, the time, and the space to come to you because they probably have developed their creative endeavor, their emotion, whatever they feel good about doing in the world. They probably have done that. Not in all cases, but in a lot of cases, our counterpart is doing the thing we want to do. And that's why we're drawn to them. But they need to do what we've already done. We've gone to them and been like, we love you. And they're just like, I'd have to be consistent every day. I'd have to show up for you. I already show up for this other creative passion I have. How can I possibly choose? If I go this way, then I'm putting less energy here. How do I maintain the same amount of fire and passion for tarot and music and my person? But that's a belief in scarcity. That's this belief that there's not enough, which is the Five of Pentacles, which is coming out next. And it's clarifying the King of Pentacles in reverse. This is believing that there is not enough time, space, energy, creativity. Like, I'm holding on to this record I have been making for years. It's 11:33. Not releasing it because I want to release it as this. I have this vision for the album. It's a whole album. It's called Playthings. It has 11 tracks on them. I've recorded 4 of them, and I want to record the rest of them and put it out as an entire album. Okay, cute. Are you never going to make anything else? Probably you're going to write other things. If you had your music equipment set up, you'd probably be writing new stuff right now and getting frustrated because you still hadn't finished this other record. So, if you are going to make other songs, and I said this yesterday when I was talking about this, why wouldn't you release the material you have now as an EP? That's not perfect. That's not exactly what you wanted to do, but you paid $4,000 to create those songs. So why don't you just release those songs as an EP, promote your tour, finish the record, which now has 7 songs, and put it out as the rest of the record. Put it out as a second EP, and then make another album because you're able to make money to pay for it at that time or whatever. But this is believing that there's not going to be more songs. There's something there's not going to be more songs that I don't write. I write a song in 5 minutes, and then I take 10 years to release it to people. It doesn't make any sense at all. So it's this belief that there's not enough. The masculine is feeling unworthy because he's left the feminine in the cold for so long. He's had all the abundance and prosperity he's needed to do the thing. And instead, he's left this feminine waiting outside in the cold because he's felt like he doesn't have enough time, or he doesn't have enough money, or whatever. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Clarifying the Queen of Cups and the King and the Knight of Wands in reverse. We have our old friend Divine Timing here, the Wheel of Fortune. It's upright though, and this is in the expectations. So Divine Masculine has a feeling in his heart that this inconsistency, this over-emotionality, this over-giving, all of this it was affected by divine timing. And it is time to change. It is time to change drastically. And to confirm that change, we have the 8 of Swords in reverse right now and the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Finally making a change. And do you know what we get when we change this guarded behavior, protecting our emotions, protecting our creativity, protecting ourselves from success? What do we get? The Sun in reverse that was all about that feminine energy for the masculine, where it was like, oh, she holds my happiness in her hands, blah, blah, blah. No, I do. This is the Emperor, and it is clarifying this unworthy feeling and the not enough energy. So the countering energy of the heart space. Okay, this is beautiful because we saw the feminine was scared in her heart space, and her head space was like, nah, bitch. You don't need to be scared. I got the truth right here. I see the truth, and the truth is coming. It's coming in hot. So don't be scared. I'm working on it. I'm changing how I'm thinking about my life, my passions, how I show up for myself and for my person. I've got that. I'm taking care of that. I'm the King of Wands right now. I am honoring my emotional side of self by thinking in a positive way about it in a bold and confident manner. Do not worry, dear little heart. You do not have to be afraid. I got you, right? That's the masculine energy helping the heart space of the feminine energy. Here we have the opposite, which is exactly what we want to see. I'm thinking I don't deserve this happiness because I withheld it from the feminine. I expected her to bring me happiness when I didn't. And so I don't deserve this happiness, right? This is also the sun represents the divine masculine in the deck. What counters that? The heart space. No, you are worthy. You are the emperor. You are the divine masculine energy. You have that worthiness within you. You have a foundation to build upon. You have the sexual energy, the drive, and the ambition. You absolutely are able to bring yourself happiness. And it is in releasing the idea that anything should bring you happiness magically that you have become this emperor. And that, my friend, is justice, which is clarifying the Six of Wands in reverse. The scales are balanced. So your success no longer has to be hidden from a karmic partner. All of that is done. That is over because you're embracing that you are the emperor. Okay, 111 on the timer here. It was actually 111:11 when I noticed it. Love that. I'm going to have some coffee. And we're going to start the oracles. Now, everybody always wants to hear the beginning of the reading because they want to hear what their person is thinking and feeling. And I get that, and I do too, and there's no shame in it. Although today it was big revelations for me about my own passion. So I hope that me going through how this applies to me personally and my passions helps you to see how these readings on TikTok about your person don't benefit you if you're only thinking about another person. They really only benefit you if you can apply it to yourself. The second that you do that, the second that you realize that it's you, always you, just you, creating your reality, just you, and everyone is showing up to validate that reality. That is all. So if your mom shows up and she's mean, then you have an idea of your mom that is, she's mean. And she's showing up to be mean. And if you can change your thoughts and be like, my mom is grown. She's aged. There's wisdom there. She's had some life experiences. She's seen my success with how I live. She can see the effects of things. So I think that she's able to change. Guess what? That's possible. It's only possible through you, though, which means your ripple effects you have on the world around you directly affected by your pessimism or optimism. You think the world is going to shit, nobody's going to change. I'm always talking shit about corporations and stuff. Like, fuck them, blah, 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 blah. That's the world. If I shift into a place where I'm like, you know what? There were corporations who stepped up and were like, no, we're not going to let you do this. We're going to do good things for people. We're going to make sure the people that work for us are supported. We're going to offer them these opportunities. We're going to support them. Like, I can look at TikTok as a giant corporation that wants to get half of my money. Or I can look at TikTok as a giant corporation that needs to be able to sustain itself while it facilitates me being pushed out to millions of people so that I can make a lot of abundance. I could look at it both ways, and I do. So it's all how we're perceiving things. That is really affecting our experience. We are not victims. So if you want to change anything that was here, if you want to show up and you want to be consistent and you don't want to be protecting yourself from success because of the disappointment that you have in yourself from the choices that you've made in the past. If you want to be able to make a commitment to the thing that you love and to be victorious, then you want to follow the oracles part of the reading, because this is the part of the reading where I tell you the things that you already have within you that are helping you, the things that you need to cultivate in order to help yourself, and just general advice about where you are currently at. So you get three homework assignments. You get 3 homework assignments. You get the masculine energy oracles, the feminine energy oracles, and you get the energy for both masculine and feminine energy, the shared energy. So you have 3 Homework assignments. 3 homework packets. Let's begin. We're going to start. We started with feminine energy, so we're going to start with her again. And we're going to look at how to heal this bitch. All right, let's see. Divine Feminine, you are in the light attributes of the Fool. This was the final card in the Divine Feminine reading on TikTok today. And this says, fearlessly revealing emotion. And I definitely am doing that with us today. Helping people laugh at absurdity and hypocrisy. I think I got this one down. So this one is saying, just keep doing this. Keep fearlessly revealing emotion. And laugh at the absurdity and the hypocrisy. Just laugh at it. You don't have to get angry. You know, you could be like, fucking hypocrites. Or you could be like, you're such a hypocrite. Like, it's ridiculous. But, like, keep it on, man. Like, your ability to shift into your higher level thinking begins with being able to laugh at jokes and take things lightly and just see the absurdity of things. Like, shit is absurd, man. Just enjoy it. Your guardian angel is here to support you in being brave. This is also strength energy, having courage, being able to hold back your fear and anxiety, which we saw was underlying all your thoughts and decisions. So facing off, you know, if you're worried about your body, if you're afraid of what you look like, you're being given support that is literally making you be brave. It's making you not give a fuck. It's making you liberated from, like, it's making you see how ridiculous it is. There is support you have from your spirit team that is really helping you to be it's brave for me to get on here and be like, hi, I'm inconsistent and I don't show up for myself or my music. Like, that's not something that you really want to admit to people, but like when you are supported by a spirit team, you are able to do those things. Like, and once you can just say what it is that you're afraid of or confess the things that you do that hold you back, you really are liberated. Like, there's a reason in the Catholic Church why they had reconciliation as a sacrament. It does free you to speak those things. When you're not speaking about something, you're thinking about it. And if you're thinking about something, you're creating it. So as soon as you give voice to something, you can either look at it and see that it's ridiculous, like Harry Potter style, or you can just get it out so it's not constantly going over and over and over and over again in your head. And yes, I've been working on holding it all lightly. That's really good. It makes me doubt. Sorry, I'm just looking at these comments here. I just want to know why he won't write back. It makes me doubt that he's even talking about me. Stop watching what he's posting. If he's not posting or communicating directly to you, just take your focus off of it, because it's not respectful to post things that are implying things to someone without communicating directly when you've communicated directly. It's fear-based and emotionally unavailable. And the more attention you give it, the more that person feels free to do that. And if you're doing the same thing, if you think that person is posting to you because you post things for that person, then stop doing that yourself. So just pull your energy back and maybe take the stance that if he hasn't posted something directly to you, it isn't for you. He posted it for himself. Even if that was meant to incite a reaction in you, it was for himself that he did it, not for you. If it was for you, it would be directly to you. That's the only advice I get the same shit from my person, so I have to constantly give myself that same reminder. If this was truly for me, it would be to me. It would be a direct message. It's not for me. It's for him. He's doing this for himself. Maybe he thinks it'll make him feel more secure because he's done something to indicate how he feels for me. But frankly, it doesn't matter because it doesn't accomplish anything. It doesn't give me security. It just gives him a sense of security. Well, I did something. Well, what you did is not clearly for me. So it's not for me, it's for you. And then when I post, I'm thinking about this. Is this for me or is this for my person? I want to give my person reassurance. Okay, then get into your DMs and give your person reassurance, even if they don't respond to you. Just be like, hey, I just want you to know I'm thinking about you today. You don't have to say anything back to me. I just want you to know that. Rather than going and posting something that's like, oh, I know if my person sees it, then he'll know I'm thinking about him. Because he's doing the same thing you're doing. He's like, I don't know if that's for me, if that's for someone else. Maybe it's for someone else. So only post for you and for no one else. Don't post for your friends. Don't post for your friends who see that you're their friends and want to look at you. Don't post for anybody but yourself. And don't acknowledge anything that's not a direct communication. Like, my person posted something and, like, wrote this little message on it, and I was like, oh, are they telling me this? And I was like, no, they're not telling me anything. They're not telling me anything. They are writing something that they know the meaning of and that is relevant to themselves. And that is all. And I have stopped posting to my person really significantly. I'll catch myself still doing it. It's an old trap, and then I'll be like, it's all right. It's just an old habit, and old habits die hard. Happiness is my birthright. This is the mindset you need to cultivate this week. For some reason, y'all are convinced that you're going to be alone forever and sad forever, and that nothing works out, and no. Everything is working out for you. Happiness is your birthright, and if you've chosen somebody who does not have the capacity to give themselves happiness, to be in that positive, uplifted energy, you can't have that person. Why? Because happiness is your birthright, and the universe isn't going to give you somebody who doesn't know how to do this for themselves. And guess what we just saw? You don't know how to do this for yourself. You feel you have the capacity for it, but you don't know yet. You're figuring it out. So, you got to learn this lesson. Happiness is your birthright. And happiness does not come from people doing the things you like all around you all the time. That would mean that free will didn't exist. That would mean that you are God and that everybody does what you want. But that's not fun, it turns out. It turns out that if you just have a bunch of people... The Bible story where God created the angels and then was like, I'm bored. Y'all love me, but so what if you didn't have to? What would you do then? I kind of want to see what that would look like. Because y'all are just like, oh, I love you, and you're singing. Like, okay, that's great. Like, that's kind of like the mood of that. Like, oh, I created all these angels, and they love me and for eternity. That's not satisfying. I want you to work for it. I don't know. Like, that's such a strange part of the Judeo-Christian theology. But humans were created and given free will so that they could choose to love the higher power. So that it was a decision that they would make. Because that is what makes love so powerful. That you choose it every time. Even when it's hard. Right? If you're at the worst moment of your life and you can say, I love you, God. I love you for giving me the opportunity to experience this challenge. That is the most unconditional type of love that exists. And that is what the love of the higher power is like. So happiness is your birthright. It's all supposed to work out for you. You're not supposed to just experience terrible things all the time. You're supposed to experience fulfillment that comes from you within self. Good morning. Looks like the alarm worked. Say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
They're always hearing your alarm in the morning. Have a good day. I love you. That's my baby brother. I was 18 when he was born, but it's funny how age really doesn't matter. Your energy that you're getting right now from the Moonology deck is you are good enough, which I think is a lovely counter to this energy right here of the Nine of Swords, where you're feeling insecure. It's so funny. I swear to God, I have gone for like the last couple of years without feeling bad about my body, but I feel bad right now about my body, and part of it is the food that my family eats is not supportive for me. Like, it causes me to get sick. I don't feel good, but the food tastes good, so it's really hard to not eat it when it's available. And another aspect of that too is that my mom also has all around the house. I noticed this yesterday and I was like, this has to be having an effect on you. She gets Woman's World. And I don't know if you've ever seen those newspaper, magazine, whatever the hell they are. But every single issue is lose 100 pounds in 24 hours. Like I lost 14 pounds in 76 seconds. Here's how. Like literally every single. So and I don't have that kind of stuff in my life anymore. I do not put those messages into my feed. I don't look at them. They're not on my Instagram account. I don't watch TV. If those messages come through, they're subtle. I usually notice them and don't like them. Like if I'm watching a show and somebody's like, oh, I need to lose weight or something, I'll be like, ew, fat phobic. Like I don't fuck with those messages anymore, but I'm in a place, this is where I grew up. This is a place where I heard my weight talked about, my like comments. Like I can remember growing up going to the kitchen to get something to drink from the refrigerator, opening the refrigerator, and my mom saying, didn't you just eat? Like there's, like a lot of toxic food related memories and body image stuff that is here. And I know that I must be called to heal that because I keep having these urges to like go on diets and shit. And I don't ever feel like that. What I want, I think, is just to have more control over the food that I'm eating, which would mean that I would have to tell my mom either not to make food for me, which she gets offended about, or ask her to make the food differently, which she also gets upset about. So I'm in this place where I'm navigating people pleasing and also like surrounded by things that I normally just don't purchase for myself. Like I just don't buy cheese and bread because it does make me sick, not just because it makes me fat, but because it makes me uncomfortable, physically uncomfortable. I tend to just buy like things that I find very nourishing for myself. And then if I want a treat or something, I will have those things. Like I'm not a person that does all around deprivation. But it's just so weird. I've just been like, wow, I can see why I grew up with this constantly on my mind. Like, and I guess this is just, I'm meant to be here so I can face this part of myself and be able to live in a healthy relationship to my body, even when I'm surrounded by things that are destabilizing, right? This part right here, the world card and the tower, like I'm really learning how to be stable even in an environment that doesn't offer that stability. Like right now, my father he's cellulitis in his legs. He's not going to work today because he had another sore open up on his legs. My dad has diabetes. It's 11:55 on the clock, and he shouldn't eat any of the food that we have. Any of it. Like, he should eat the food that I prepare for myself because it's going to give you a lot less symptoms because that's what we believe about it. None of us in this household has the ability to believe that the foods that we eat aren't harming us because we grew up with those beliefs embedded. The magazines all around that were saying that these things made us fat and gross and horrible. Like, so we have to be able to shift that, and it's really difficult. So I'm dealing with that right now, and I definitely need this message of you are good enough. So I'm going to actually read from the book, the message for everybody. And this is the full moon in Virgo. Oh, I just opened right to it. Let me see. Damn, you're making me realize I have to be more careful with choice. Oh, yes. Please be careful. So being careful with the choice of words towards your kids. Here's something to chew on. Body image is not affected by what your parent says to you about your body as much as it is affected by what you hear them say about their own bodies. They've done studies about that. And even if you don't say to your child, like, oh, honey, I think you should lose a few pounds, or, oh, I'm worried that you're going to be sick. Also, stop associating fat on your body with sick. Those are two different things. There are thin people who are sick from the foods that they eat, okay? There is not a reason to associate your body type with sick. That has been a convenient way for insurance companies to fuck us over. That has been a convenient way for the advertising industry to control us with articles that say we need to lose weight, so we'll pay for the things that will help us lose weight, while then advertising foods that are intrinsically harmful to us. So, and addictive. It's fucked up. I do a whole thing. I should do a whole segment each week, honestly, on nourishment and bodies, because I have worked on that for a long time, and I do have a lot of insight into that. But what people say about their bodies is much more powerful to children. And even what you don't say. If your kid sees you looking in the mirror with disgust at yourself, your toddler, they will say things to you about your weight. They know how you feel about it. They're intuitive. So it is so important, if you want to have healthy children with healthy body images, that you just work exclusively on your own healthy body. And like, I remember when my son was little, he's never liked eating food. Like, he doesn't like eating food at all, which I swear to God I manifested, because I was like, I don't want my child to have to worry about their weight. And so I got a child who doesn't like to eat at all. But he has textural issues, and he's really sensitive to flavors. And as he's aged, he started to be more open to things, which I knew would happen. But when he was younger, he was just really resistant to food. And my ex, who's rigid and controlling, would try to force him to eat specific things. And I knew that wasn't right. Like, intuitively, I'm like, that's not going to help him learn how to nourish himself. That's just going to cause him to be resistant to foods that he didn't like or had negative experiences of when he was little. And we went to the pediatrician who I had an amazing pediatrician for him when he was little. And she told us that it mattered way less what you prepared for your child to eat than what you prepared for yourself to eat. Your kid learned more about the foods their family was eating rather than the ones that were on their own plate when they were growing up. So if we gave him just yogurt all the time with stuff mixed into it, and he didn't have these like a little bit of the vegetables and a little bit of meat or whatever, it mattered way less. If we sat down and ate a bowl of popcorn for dinner, he was learning that, versus if we ate things that were balanced and nutritious and we enjoyed them. So what you do is what causes the most ripple effects in the world. And it's particularly true with your children. And don't blame yourself if you've set up that environment in the way that you were familiar with or whatever. Rather than be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that or I shouldn't have said that. This is your moment to be like, oh, actually, I see now how I can affect positive change for my children. Because starting now, beginning today, I am going to love the shit out of myself, and I'm going to choose things that nourish me. And I'm going to nourish, when I want comfort, I'm going to let myself be comforted by food also. Who told you food's not about comfort? I'm sorry. Who told you it's not about socializing with people? What? It is. Food is about comfort. It's about socializing with people. It is something we share together. You know who told you that? The diet industry. The diet industry wants you to be deprived so that you will pay for their pills and pay for their regimens and put out epic gob tons of money to try to affect something in your body that is purely in your mind. They're so brilliant. I wish I would have thought about it if I was evil. Okay, so a lot of to say about that, but it must be that people really needed to hear it. My readings for personal readings, which I will be doing after I finish all of these oracle cards, are $11 or $22 or $33 here on TikTok Live. And then you can click the link in my profile. There's Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal there. But you can also book a private reading, so it's not on the TikToks. And that's all available on my page. And the private readings start at $33 and they go up from there. Okay. It's time to be really honest with yourself and understand what's led you to ask your question. Have you been humble to the point of being self-effacing? Humility is good, but it can go too far, and drawing this card suggests you may be underrating yourself. You don't have to be flash, just quietly certain that you are good enough. At the other end of the scale, you also need to honestly answer this question. Have you been too picky? The full moon in Virgo card needs some truthful answers. Once you've given them, it should be easier to see how you got where you are. Your next step should then be more obvious to you. Pay attention to the details. Hard work brings results. Okay, this is so interesting because I talked about with my music, the you are good enough thing with my music. It's like having those 4 songs ready to go isn't good enough for me. I need to have all 11 songs. I need to put the whole entire album out. And this is saying, are you being too picky? because I am. If I put out the songs that I've done already, people would fuck hard with them. But I'm like, no, they have to go out an entire album you know what? When people made entire albums like that, they had record labels, babe. There was somebody paying for them to make. Tori Amos's first record, she did not make in her bedroom herself, producing it herself. She had a label doing it. So that's why she got to put out a whole record. You don't have a label right now. You weren't able to imagine that happening for yourself. That's okay. You have music. Put it out. Stop being picky. Stop being a perfectionist. I'm literally keeping myself from having joy because I need 7 more songs to be produced in order for me to have joy. That doesn't make any sense. No one is expecting that from me, except for me. To attune to the moon, find a balance between the cosmic and the mundane in your daily life. Additional meanings for this card. Worrying too much will attract more things to worry about. This is really going with I told you these cards were going together here. Have you been overly critical? An apology may be in order. Stop second guessing yourself and raise your karma by doing something good for someone else. The full moon in Virgo is a time to declutter your life, your home, and your office. It's the time to sort what's good in your life from what's not serving you. It's also the time to clear out your energies via salt baths and meditations, and to practice getting more grounded by walking barefoot. No matter when you draw this card, it is a reminder that any time is a good time to start living a healthier life. Wow, so I'm going to work on my body image, not by drastically changing my eating habits. I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to put lotion on my body. I'm going to put on my sexy lingerie. I'm going to feel good about my body rather than need to change my body to feel good about it. That's how I'm going to deal with that. So if anyone else is experiencing those same kind of feelings coming up, that's my recommendation to you. Go treat your body like the temple that it is. Turkey spirit. Give with gratitude and grace. So this is your advice this week. Feminine energy, continue to be giving, which is actually a masculine energy that you have to go into. You have to be in masculine energy to give, and you have to be in feminine energy to receive. And this says, Turkey Spirit's message for you is that you always have the potential for manifesting a rich reality. For the turkey represents generosity and a celebration of abundance through giving to others. Give freely without expectation, and you shall receive. For the manifestation of abundance is happening right now. Align with it by sharing your good fortune with others, whether you give money, loving guidance, the gift of listening, or kindness in any form. Immerse yourself in the flow of generous abundance, being a channel for Turkey Spirit and the desire of Spirit to see all beings experience the blessing of plenty. Give with gratitude and grace from a wellspring of love and compassion, knowing that Spirit will respond by giving you all that you need in this moment and all moments to come. Beautiful. Divine Feminine, your theme for this week is defeat. This is the 5 of Swords, and look how it forms the devil's head here in the Thoth Tarot. I like that the Thoth Tarot does that with all the 5s, so that it's representing how the 5s are about fear and anxiety, overcoming obstacles. This is being defeated by your thoughts, and it is a card about surrendering, no longer being in battle, but surrendering and just giving in. So your thoughts right now are the only things that are defeating you from going forward. They are just your ego in disguise. It's so clever. The devil is so clever, right? We look at the devil from Judeo-Christian traditions as this, horned god, because we were vilifying pagans. It's fine. ... to infinity. But we look at this evil, nasty, just pure evil, pure darkness, pure blackness, horrible, whatever. It's your thoughts. It's your thoughts. There is no sin but the ability to imagine it. Like, that is, you are when you are defeated right now, it is only from your own thoughts that you're experiencing defeat. It is not coming from outside of you. And it's just really learning that lesson and surrendering to it, and then doing something to shift your thoughts. I'm on 31 days of affirmations every single night. I have stuck with that, and I'm going to keep doing it. It's definitely helped me so much. So I highly recommend that affirmation work, which, as I emphasize every time I have a chance, for the new people that are here, to do your affirmations, you want to record them in your own voice. There's an app called Think Up that I use on my iPhone, and there's other apps out there, but basically you want to record your own voice saying affirmations in a conversational manner, because of all the times that you have said the things you don't want with your friends in a conversational tone about the things that you don't like, the complaining that you've done. You have to approach these new thoughts with that same, you need to bring the same like emotion and feeling into the words that you're saying that you do when you're talking about what you don't want. Once you say your affirmations in that conversational tone, the uplifting kind of a voice, you want to have 3 parts. I am loved, or I am committed. That's the body. The soul is I have commitment, or I have so much love around me. I'm seeing your donation, so I will get to your reading after I finish this collective reading. Thank you. And then you pose a question. How is it that I'm this committed? It's crazy. I can't believe I'm this committed. It's amazing. You want to give yourself that question, which also puts the affirmation in your mind. So it's body, soul, and mind that you're triggering when you're doing that. Listen to it as you're falling asleep, or if you do a meditation during the day, listen to it while you're making your coffee, stir it into your coffee. And I'm talking hours. I have hours and hours and hours of this stuff, and it plays all night. So just start doing that. It's transformative. All right, let's look at the divine masculine side of self. We have here the eternal child. So right now, this is a positive attribute that this masculine has. It is a determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, and the ability to see things with fresh eyes. So we've often talked about the childishness of the masculine energy in a negative way. And right now, the masculine is being told, no, your eternal child energy is positive. Because children have the ability to shift, grow, imagine, expand, and you must be young at heart and be like a child to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Good thing, if you are being an eternal child, your Mother Mary energy is here with you today. So divine masculine is getting the divine feminine nurturing energy coming from the divine, not from outside of himself. So if he did not have a positive experience of maternal energy in his life, he does now, and it's coming from that higher self. It's coming from, if you believe in the goddess energy, it's coming from that goddess energy, and it is nurturing him, cradling him, and supporting him, so that he doesn't need to seek that externally, so that his motives for moving into a relationship are not about depletion, but about being full and wanting to share and nurture someone else. The mindset that he needs to cultivate this week is, I find a deeper meaning and personal growth amid the discomfort. So instead of thinking, oh, I'm disappointed for all of the things that have happened and I'm uncomfortable with the way that I have behaved, it's embracing that it is through this that he has found deeper meaning and personal growth. Full moon in new moon in Cancer, you and your loved ones are safe. So this is constantly a concern for the masculine. That's why the 8 of Swords came up for him too. Always really trying to protect everyone around him. This says, there is a new start coming in your private life. Something is rising up in connection with the people and places you hold dearest. This can be to do with a member of your family, a flatmate, or moving house. If you're hoping to move forwards with something special in your private life, this card comes to you as a message that you can do it. If you've been neglecting your family, it's time to reconnect with them. If you've been neglecting yourself, you need to take better care of yourself and nurture yourself more. If your insecurity is holding you back, that's something for you to work on. Doing so could bring you your heart's desire. To attune to the moon, make sure you put family first. Additional meanings for this card. Let someone get a bit closer to you. A new cycle is starting for you, for your child or children. It's time to review your goals. Have they changed? Meditation will help banish your insecurities. Spending time near water will bring you peace and answers. The new moon in Cancer can be a super emotional time. The moon is also about emotions, and Cancer is a water sign and also very emotional. Saying that the moon is very happy in the sign of Cancer, it's one of the 2 home signs along with Taurus. So whenever you pull it, this card suggests that whatever happens next will be in your favor. It's especially positive for family matters. And we're still in Cancer season 2, so it can also just be a little indication of what's going on right now. That masculine energy is focused on making sure his family and loved ones are safe. He's having to put family first at this time. And that's something that we have to respect in that way. Like, I have to, in my life, like, it's important that I move into a place with my son so he can go to school at the school that he chose to go to in Massachusetts. He's 16 and he still has 2 years left. So right now it's important for me to put getting into that stable environment for my son first, because when I wasn't in a stable environment, when I was living on the West Coast and I couldn't see him regularly, it brought me a lot of pain, and I wasn't thriving in that pain. I was having always to compartmentalize it, and that wasn't healthy for me. And even though I maintained the best relationship I possibly could with FaceTime, and we have a wonderful relationship, it still was something that made me feel destabilized. And so it's important for me to put that, my family, first right now before I'm doing anything else, because I can't bring my full self to anything else if I'm divided inside of myself. This card keeps coming up for people throughout all of my personal readings. Hello, everybody. And this is number 25. It is Elephant Spirit, Learn from the Past. I just opened right to it. It says, although we often wish we could leave the past behind, Elephant Spirit reminds us that memory matters. We must respect the wisdom of the elders who hand down to us traditions they have shaped to express our connection to each other and respect for the community. What has come before informs what we are experiencing today, and we must never forget our legacy of strength and dignity. Elephant Spirit appears with the message that we are to acknowledge that which came before and learn from it. All of us are memory-based creatures, and we must revisit the past to understand where we are and where we are going. The stories of events you experience, the stories in our collective memory, and the stories of relationships you have had can be told many ways. What story will you tell? Elephant Spirit is here to encourage you to make it one that stirs in you a sense of power and dignity, for you have honored yourself by choosing to learn from your past. Spirit rejoices at your willingness to learn and grow. So, very profound for that masculine energy who's learned from the past. We saw that in his headspace, that he's really doing that. And this week, his theme, Bowie's on cue. You know when the reading's almost done, don't you? It's like you are paying attention to when the oracles are happening. The 8 of Pentacles. This is prudence, it says on this card. This is about working on our craft, working on ourselves, bringing that devotion, bringing the devotion to the material that you are creating right now. So the masculine's theme is really working with devotion on something that he loves very much. The sun sign is on this card too, so it's something that brings a lot of happiness and fulfillment for him to work on this. Okay, we're at the final stage of the reading where I'm going to read to you these last oracles. These are the final messages for both masculine and feminine. I usually take this time to thank everybody who's been giving me gifts and liking. I see I'm up to 13.4K likes. Thank you so much. That's incredible. And I will give you a couple of announcements. First of all, I don't know why, but my live events are not showing on my profile for me when I look at it. And when I tried to attach it, to link it to the video I was doing today, it did not let me. So I'm going to talk to the TikTok rep I have a meeting with today at 2 o'clock. And I will ask her if that can be fixed or what's going on with that so that you can see when I'm going live. But the next time I will be live, I have been jumping on at night, late at night on Monday nights. So you will probably see me late tonight Eastern Standard Time, anytime after 10 p.m., between 10 and midnight. I will probably come on for a little while. Then you will not see me again until Wednesday morning. I come on from 7 to 9, and we do the extended Tell Me Everything reading from that day's Tell Me Everythings that appear on TikTok. So if you see those little 3-minute readings and you want to be able to see the full reading, it happens from 7 to 9 on Wednesday mornings, 11 to 1 on Saturdays, and 7 to 9 on Sunday mornings. Those are the 3 opportunities to see the 3-minute readings on TikTok extended into a full-length version of those readings. If you want to see a full-length Tell Me Everything spread, masculine and feminine side, and all the oracles, similar to this reading, but it's usually not quite as long, you can catch that on Thursdays at noon. You can also see the replay if you are a member. To become a member, go to my website, click the link. Once you fill out a profile, it sends me a message, and then I send you a link so that you can pay $3.33 a month to be a member and have access to those replays. Also, there is available the Learn Tarot and Divine Check-In that I do on Fridays are also available for replays there. So, tomorrow is my day off. If you book a private reading, don't hear from me. I usually email everybody Wednesday morning, so don't worry, you will get an email in response to a booking that you've made today or tomorrow. Hi! It's not time yet. You're going to have to wait a little longer. You want to say hi to everybody? This is your thing. Like, she's a Leo, so she likes to come on camera. All right, can you wait a little bit? Can you wait a little bit? Thank you. Lay down. Just lay down. Good girl. All right, so that's all the announcements. Thank you so much for being here with me. After I finish up these oracles, I'm going to turn off my YouTube reading over here and come back over here. There is somebody who paid for a reading, so I will do that reading. And if you want another personal reading, I will do it then. If you don't like tarot, you don't have to be here, but you don't have to impose your beliefs on us. We are not imposing our beliefs on you because this is our personal page and we are all part of the prayers in this collective. So you absolutely don't have to be here if anything we're doing bothers you. And thank you for sharing your opinions with us. I am always open to hear other people's ideas about the world. I, unlike you, am tolerant. Okay. Let us now look at these final closing messages. So these are the messages that are most important for the union right now. You are in the shadow attributes of the detective. Oh, and you definitely are, because we already talked today about how when we see things on Instagram and we're like, wait, what does that mean? What is that about me? Is that not about me? So the shadow attributes are voyeurism and falsifying information. So this is where you're going and you're looking at your person and you're just trying to see what they're doing and you're trying to make sense of it and you're like being a detective and it's not really working out for you. Both of you need to stop doing that. You need to, both parts of the self need to stop just being curious and looking and watching, and you need to actually communicate and ask questions, ask discerning questions. The detective energy, light attributes, great powers of observation and intuition, and a desire to seek the truth. So you really want to tune into your powers of observation and tune into your intuition. Most of the time, what we tune into when we watch other people from the sidelines is our fear. We turn into the darkness. We turn into the fear of it not going well, our worries, our concerns, our anxieties, the devil energy that's being alluded to here. If I were channeling a demon, you would definitely know it. I love that. I'm sorry. Listen, there's a very famous quote from the book that you are referring to, which says, "You shall know them by their fruits." And right now, there's 2 of us producing fruits. Mine happen to be helping people not focus on things that they're obsessed with, to help them to channel their energy into their own power and to their connection with their God, however they want to call that God, because I don't have rules. I don't have one way of looking at God. I have an openness to all people's experiences of God because this is a planet with billions of people on it. So my fruits are that I'm helping people to tune into their connection to their divine higher power, whatever they call that. I don't put any label on that. It is what they choose. Your fruits are that you are accusing somebody and harassing somebody and sending them negative energy. So by your own book, by the quotes of a person that you uphold as being divine, that person told you, you shall know them by their fruits. And everyone here in this room right now can see the fruits. They can see the ones that are rotten, and then they can see the ones that are whole and fresh and delicious to eat. So you don't have to tell me what I'm doing in terms of channeling. You just need to look at the energy you're channeling, which is negative, hateful, intolerant energy. Like right now, you're the one who's accusing me of being negative, but only you are saying negative things. So again, you don't have to be here. And I'm sending you love and healing because I know that your views and ideas come from very strict and rigid belief systems that deny feminine energy and deny the power of feminine energy. It comes from a system that's very, very imbalanced, that focuses only on the masculine energy and doesn't honor intuition, our connection to the divine. It doesn't honor everybody's ability to be able to communicate directly with the divine. And so that's something that I hope that is healed for you at some point, and that you can feel that I don't have hatred towards you or any negativity towards you. All I am doing is sending you love and healing. So, and you can call me a witch. That's not actually an insult to me. Go look at every single tradition that you do and ask yourself where it comes from. Where's incense come from? They do that in the church. That comes from paganism. Where's an altar come from? Paganism. Where, like, everything that comes, that is celebrated and used in Christianity comes from all the beliefs that existed thousands of years before Christ was said to have walked upon the earth. Also, Christ rejected the rules and structures of the Pharisees. He did not believe that you needed to follow every single rigid rule of the Pharisees. That was his whole point. There were 2 commandments. Love God above all things and love your neighbor as yourself, which isn't before yourself or after yourself, but as yourself. So you are required to love me as you love yourself. And seeing how you're speaking to me, I know that you have low self-love. And that's the only reason why you're not able to express love and forgiveness and kindness towards me, is because you don't have love and forgiveness and kindness within self. So I hope that you will hear this message and it will heal you and you will be transformed. And if not, by all means, go to another live. But you're actually increasing my channel. All the comments you're giving me, all of the interactions you're having are boosting my content. Right now, my algorithm is going up and up and up and up. And so I think you were brought here for me to actually help me to reach more people and also get these messages out for those that feel they are not tolerated by others. So God bless you. All right. So right now you want to use your powers of observation and tune into your intuition instead of using your powers of intuition to make you feel like you're doubting the other person. You're falsifying the information. Like somebody said, like, I'm seeing my person's post and I'm doubting it's about me. Well, it isn't about you. It is about them. And it's up to you to be able to have that discernment. If this was about you, it would be to you. And that's really where you want to be in this world. Oh, it's the card that I despise the most. Practice makes perfect. I hate this card. I don't like practicing because I want to do it already the right way. I don't want to do it the wrong way 15 times and then do it the right way after 15 times. I want to do it right now. So practicing is incredibly uncomfortable for me. Practicing is where you have opportunities over and over and over again to be able to get to that level of achievement that you would like to be. And there's going to be an entire life all ahead of you from now until the end of time where you will be practicing you are always going to do it. Perfection is a destination that we aim for but never arrive. And if you feel like you're going to arrive at perfection someday and you're always disappointed because you don't, it's because you don't understand that perfection is an ideal that drives us, that the only thing perfect is divine energy, that we are human and not divine, and that we will never be fully divine until we leave this vessel and ascend to a higher consciousness and become part of that higher consciousness again. Your human vessel cannot be perfect. This infuriates the Christians. When I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. So the altercation that just took place was this card. I embodied this mindset. This is a mindset we already have, but we're supposed to perpetuate it. And this is when I focus on my inner light, I saw the world through the lens of love. I know that that person who comes in here and says those things believes that they are saving me in some way. Now, I know that that comes from a tradition of proselytizing and having to make sure that everybody follows your path. But that person's genuine desire is to prevent what they think is evil from being in the world, which is, of course, supposed to be helping or saving me. So I can't really be that angry when somebody is like, what you're doing is wrong, because they want me to do what they feel is right for other people so that people will be happy, healthy, and whole. They have received information about what I do that's false. And so they are helping me, quote unquote, by telling me about what I do, which is their information that is false, right? But our beliefs don't align. But if I focus on what I'm doing, because why do I come and do this? I do this because I want other people to be comforted, to not be in depression and darkness where I used to be, not continue to make choices that are going to continue to make them unhappy until the end of time. I am trying to bring my inner light out and see this whole world through the lens of love, even people who come on and have those dissenting opinions. I value that. I don't like to mute those people. It's easy to communicate with them for me because I know what they're doing and what their desire, what their intention is. And the only way you can really respond to that is just by being like, well, that's like your opinion, man, but like, I'm not doing anything to hurt you, so you don't have to stay here. I know that you're just trying to love in your way. This is how I love. If you don't like it, go away. But I don't hate that person or feel bad towards that person. Surrender to the divine. Seeing as the Five of Swords came up for the divine feminine, this is more of that surrender energy. It is the full moon. It's just the full moon. The very word climax brings all sorts of ideas and images to mind. Agreed? But it really is the feeling of this card. Life is coming to a head, a point, a conclusion, or a turning point. There may be some kind of change and possibly even some sort of emotional explosion. Tune into your emotions now and see what they're telling you. They're very likely close to the surface, no matter when in the moon cycle you've pulled this card. Matters will soon conclude, and you'll find out whether or not your wishes are going to come true. The odds are in your favor as this is a positive card, but you may need to work harder than usual to keep cool as events unfold. To attune to the moon, you want to say this week, I am getting the answers I need. Ooh, I like that. I want to add that to my affirmations. I am getting the answers I need. Additional meanings for this card include a wish you made may be about to come true. It's make or break time. There could be a sense of madness in the air. Breathe deep and stay calm. You may need to forgive someone to release negative energy. It's time to let go of the past and move on. The full moon marks the climax of the lunar cycle, making this card something of a power card. The full moon is often the time when answers are given to questions asked during the new moon, and pulling this card at any time in the lunar cycle suggests answers will be coming your way before too long. I'm looking forward to that. Your message, your spirit animal message, is the protection message from Buffalo Spirit. The abundant universe will provide. This is number 10. When Buffalo Spirit visits you with the message of protection, he is asking you to shift your thinking from poverty consciousness to one where you trust the universe will provide. Have you been falling into financial insecurity, worrying that there will not be enough money in the future? Have you been stressing and feeling sorry for yourself, worrying that because you have no romantic relationship now, you will never have one? Do you see scarcity where there is in fact abundance? Are you comparing yourself to others and falling short? Self-pity, entitlement, fear, and lack are all thought viruses that seduce you into darkness. Buffalo Spirit nudges you to make a gratitude list and be mindful of your thoughts at this time. Even if outer events have happened to challenge your beliefs in abundance, outer conditions are temporary. If you are suffering from the malaise of fear that you are impoverished, realize that it is only poverty of perception and perspective. Prayer, communion with your higher power, and gratitude, coupled with compassionate, selfless service, will snap you right out of it. Give to someone who has less than you. Be thankful for the tiniest things and say affirmations. Then you will remember abundance is the true nature of the world. All right, and your final card this week. It's the Ten of Swords. It's pain. It says ruin on it. Painful separation. But what is it caused by? 12:33 on the clock. Your thoughts. Swords are not actually swords. They are thoughts. And thoughts cut deeper than the sharpest blades. And they keep you stuck. And they keep you stagnant. And so your work this week is to release yourself from these thoughts that pin you down, that ruin your picture or your vision of what your reality really wants to be, that keeps confirming this hellish one that you do not want. That is not how we do it. The way that we shift evil out of our lives is to think good thoughts. I'm sorry, I was busy channeling a demon there, so I can't with that. The thing is, I could channel a demon. I could channel an angel. I could channel literally anything. But if I was channeling a demon, you would 100% know it. It would smell like a rat. Thank you so much for being here with me for this collective reading. I'm going to shift over now to personal readings on TikTok. The person who paid for a reading, please hop in the comments right now. Let me know which one it was, which name it was, and what your question is, and I will get started. And thank you to everybody here on YouTube for watching this full reading with me. Go follow me on TikTok to see me do readings 6 days a week. I'm also live multiple times, usually twice a day, at least once or twice a day, 6 days a week. And if you want to send me a deck as a thank you for these readings that I do, or a gift, my birthday's coming up on July 31st, and I'm a Leo and I love a gift. There's links on my profile. Send me a deck, send me a gift. You'll find those there, or you can see it below in the description box if you're on YouTube. Thank you so much, and I will see you next week or on Thursday if you are a member.